The introduction to Before Alexander, Philip's Iron Wall of Spears focuses on the rise of Philip II of Macedon, a pivotal figure who fundamentally transformed Macedonia into a dominant military power. Philip II ascended the throne in 359 BCE and quickly established himself as a formidable leader through innovation and tactical brilliance. His rise is marked by the transformation from a relatively weak state into a powerful kingdom, primarily through the development of the Macedonian phalanx, a military formation consisting of rows of soldiers armed with long spears and shields. This formation, known as the Iron Wall of Spears, became a cornerstone of his military might. The significance of Philip's rise is profound, as it laid the groundwork for his son, Alexander the Great, to expand the Macedonian Empire across vast territories. By reorganizing and professionalizing the army, introducing new weapons, and implementing strategic diplomacy, Philip II not only secured Macedonia's borders, but also extended its influence across Greece and beyond. His military reforms and tactical innovations are directly linked to the empire's later successes under Alexander. Two notable examples highlight Philip's impact. First, his decisive victory in the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BCE effectively brought Greece under Macedonian control, demonstrating his military prowess and strategic acumen. Second, the creation of the League of Corinth under his leadership united Greek states, albeit under his hegemony, effectively setting the foundation for a unified front against external threats like the Persian Empire. Supporters of Philip's methodologies highlight his visionary leadership and strategic insight, emphasizing how his military reforms and statecraft foresightedly set the stage for empire building. However, challenges and controversies surround his rule, often pointing to his methods of coercion and political manipulation. Critics argue that his dominance over Greece was heavy-handed, with some Greek states resenting Macedonian control, ultimately leading to regional instability. This point directly influences the broader topic by illustrating the military and political innovations that made subsequent conquests possible. Philip's foundation was critical, with his strategic advances in warfare and political integration serving as essential precedents for Alexander's future exploits. In essence, understanding Philip's rise and contributions is crucial for comprehending how Alexander was able to embark on his legendary campaigns, thus revealing that the seeds of Macedonian dominance were firmly planted long before Alexander took command. The Macedonian phalanx represents a revolutionary military innovation developed under the leadership of King Philip II of Macedon. This formation was characterized by a dense grouping of infantrymen, known as phalanx, armed with long spears called sarissas, which could range from 15 to 18 feet. These soldiers would stand shoulder to shoulder, creating an impenetrable wall of spears that could dominate the battlefield with its sheer defensive and offensive capabilities. The harmonized movement of these units allowed for a powerful and flexible force, radically different from the traditional Greek hoplite warfare, which relied on shorter spears and less rigid formations. The significance of the Macedonian phalanx in relation to Philip's Iron Wall of Spears is profound. It marks a fundamental shift in military tactics and plays a crucial role in the transformation of Macedonia from a peripheral kingdom into a formidable power. Philip's military reforms, using the phalanx as the backbone of his army, not only secured Macedonian dominance in Greece, but also laid the groundwork for his son, Alexander the Great, to embark on his conquests. The effectiveness of the phalanx formation was a pivotal element in Philip's ability to consolidate control over Greece and build a platform for Macedonian hegemony. Two prominent examples highlight the phalanx's effectiveness. The Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BCE saw Philip's forces achieve a decisive victory against a coalition of Greek city-states. Here, the tactical superiority of the Macedonian phalanx, with its shock power and cohesion, was displayed in full effect, undermining traditional Greek military prowess. Another instance is the Battle of Gaugamela in 331 BCE, where Alexander further refined and utilized the formation against the Persian Empire, demonstrating its adaptability and strategic value on the grand stage of world history. The formation, however, was not without its challenges or controversies. Critics argue that while the phalanx was formidable on flat, open terrain, its effectiveness diminished on rough ground or during rapid maneuvers. Furthermore, opponents suggest that the inflexibility of the phalanx made it vulnerable to more mobile and adaptable forces. Despite these concerns, its success in Philip's campaigns solidifies its place as a cornerstone in the evolution of ancient military strategy. The Macedonian phalanx is inextricably linked to Philip's achievements and the subsequent empire-building exploits of Alexander. It serves as a crucial connective element between the military innovations of Philip and the expansive vision of his son. This dynamic military formation highlights the strategic ingenuity of Philip, whose developments would have a lasting impact on warfare, shaping the military doctrines of centuries to come. Philip II of Macedon revolutionized military strategy, fundamentally altering the course of warfare with his transformative innovations. His introduction of the Macedonian phalanx stands as a pinnacle of such strategic advancements. This formation, characterized by deep ranks of infantry, armed with the sarissa, a long spear, was designed for both offensive power and defensive strength. Unlike traditional hoplite formations, the Macedonian phalanx provided unparalleled reach and cohesion, allowing Philip to effectively neutralize enemy infantry and cavalry alike. The significance of these innovations cannot be overstated. They were instrumental in establishing Macedon as a dominant military power and set the stage for Alexander the Great's subsequent conquests. To exemplify, one can explore the Battle of Chaeronea in 338 BC, where Philip's use of the phalanx decimated the combined forces of Athens and Thebes. Here, the phalanx's formidable structure allowed the Macedonians not only to absorb enemy charges with minimal losses, but also to counterattack with great force and precision. Another example is his tactful use of combined arms, integrating cavalry and siege weapons with traditional infantry tactics, creating a versatile and adaptable army. This holistic approach allowed for strategic flexibility, providing Philip with the upper hand in various battle scenarios. Supporters argue that Philip's strategic innovations laid the groundwork for Alexander's unprecedented success. By professionalizing the military and focusing on disciplined training, Philip created not just an army, but an indomitable war machine. Critics, however, might point out that the heavy reliance on the phalanx could lead to vulnerabilities, particularly in varied terrains where the formation's cohesion could be compromised. The rigidity of maintaining a dense formation posed challenges in diverse battlefield conditions, and adapting tactics to suit different environments became essential. This strategic evolution links deeply to other facets of Philip's reign, such as political maneuverings and statecraft. His military might empower him to forge influential alliances and exert control over the Greek peninsula, uniting previously fragmented states under Macedonian aegis. Understanding Philip's military strategies thus provides insight into the broader implications of his reign, ultimately framing the historical narrative leading up to Alexander's famed campaigns. Through these military innovations, Philip not only solidified his own legacy, but also indelibly shaped the contours of ancient warfare. The organizational reforms of the Macedonian army under King Philip II were transformative changes that laid the foundation for Macedonia's rise as a dominant military power in the ancient world. These reforms fundamentally restructured the army, enhancing its effectiveness and efficiency, which ultimately contributed significantly to the military successes of both Philip and his son, Alexander the Great. Philip introduced the phalanx formation, featuring long spears known as sarissas, and reorganized the army into a more professional and disciplined force. This reformation included hiring and training full-time soldiers, rather than relying solely on traditional citizen warrior models. The importance of these reforms cannot be overstated, as they played a crucial role in creating what could be described as an iron wall of spears, which was the backbone of Macedonian military dominance. One specific example of Philip's reforms is the introduction of the sarissa, a spear much longer than those used by previous armies. This change allowed Macedonian soldiers to engage their enemies at a greater distance, giving them a significant edge in combat. Another key example is the restructuring of the army into smaller, more flexible units, capable of rapid maneuvers, which allowed for more strategic and tactical versatility on the battlefield. These changes allowed Philip's forces to outmaneuver and overpower the larger armies of rival Greek states, setting the stage for Alexander's future conquests. Supporters of Philip's reforms argue that these military innovations were instrumental in establishing Macedonia's preeminence in the ancient world. They suggest that without these innovations, Alexander might not have been able to achieve his legendary conquests so effectively or rapidly. However, some challenges and controversies surround these reforms. Critics have pointed out that the professionalization of the army and the reliance on a standing military force required significant resources and could strain the state's finances. Additionally, this shift in military structure concentrated power into the hands of a few, particularly the king, which might have led to governance challenges in maintaining control over increasingly autonomous military leaders. These organizational reforms connect deeply with the broader narrative of Macedonian dominance. They served as the foundation for Alexander's subsequent campaigns, influencing tactics and strategies that he employed across his empire. Moreover, the success of these reforms encouraged other states to adopt similar military innovations, profoundly influencing warfare during that era. Philip's strategic foresight in revolutionizing the Macedonian military thus had enduring implications, shaping not only his reign, but also the course of ancient history.